Hey guys, thanks for tuning us in for this 17th episode of Season 2 of Good Questions with Cameron Dole. Special guests for this episode include actor and musician Aleks Paunovic. We talk about Snowpiercer with new episodes Monday nights on TNT. We also visit with former NFL and college football player Levon Kirkland. We'll talk about the podcast and the upcoming Super Bowl. We'll also visit with country singer and songwriter Joe Hanson about his new single and video for Head Over Heels that's available now. Of course, if you would, please take the time to subscribe, drop a like, comment, leave some feedback, and of course, share with your friends. Our first guest is Aleks Paunovic. New episodes of Snowpiercer every Monday on TNT. First off, Aleks, thank you so much for your time, and I hope I did somewhere close with the name.
Oh, you did great, Cameron Dole. I got your name, no problem. Come on, Cameron Dole Morning Show. You kidding me?
Now, Aleks, as Snowpiercer, the new season's out there, and the fan reaction has that geared up, you think, a bit because of COVID and everybody just having the chance to really binge all at once?
Yeah, I absolutely think so. But what I really love about this show is, it gets released on TNT. By the way, the second season, episode 2, is on tonight on TNT at 9 p.m. Eastern. But nice little plug. And but I love what I love about it is the water cooler talk. There's a lot of shows that do the binging where all the episodes come out, and I love that too. But I missed that energy of one episode airing and people just talk about that episode for a week, and then they hit the next episode. And that's what's happening with Snowpiercer. It no joke, it literally became this train rolling down the track that kept on picking up more and more people and more fans of the show. And we just are so over the moon that people love the show as much as they do.
Aleks, the show has so many different characters. I mean, there's roles and characters for everybody to kind of buy into, isn't that right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's a class system that's set up on the train. You go to the tail, the lower class, middle class, first class, and so you really get to see the dichotomy and the contradictions of what the train is going through and what rights need to still be served with on a train. And if you look at the world right now, that's basically what we're going through. So it's an interesting way to watch the show of such an action-packed, post-apocalyptic, utopian type of show that you can resonate with some of the challenges happening in our own lives out there.
And Aleks, for you, always been an enforcer, a very large, intimidating force. There you go. It took me a minute to get that out. But Aleks, where did the bodybuilding, the muscle training, where did all that originate for you?
Well, I was never really in did bodybuilding, but I came from a boxing background, so I had 3 generations of boxers in my family, and athletics and keeping. And just, carrying on the tradition of my family was something that was really important to me. And unbeknownst to me that, that part of my life would actually help out in the career that I have. And, everyone has that, quote unquote, there's this stereotype and their hits. And, I'm a big dude, so I get people are going to cast me as that. But, and once you make friends with that, which I have from the beginning, just because I'm never in real life those type of characters, so it's fun to play outside of the realm that you would never do in your normal life. So I find it enjoyable. And then there's a few gigs that come along that really turn the expectation on its heels. When there's a called Personal Effects, Michelle Pfeiffer and Kathy Bates that I played, a mentally challenged person. So getting those opportunities really flex the muscles and challenge myself in that is quite extraordinary also. But I no joke, man, I love playing baddies. It's so much fun.
Is it a big stretch for you from the personal life, or is it pretty close to the real Aleks?
What, that I like shooting people and beating them up?
Yeah.
No. No, not at all. That's why I love playing these type of characters, because me personally, Aleks Paunovic would never, pull a gun on a woman, or a pregnant woman, or like my characters have done at times. But that's what makes it fun playing these type of characters, is because I don't, and I'm not that person in real life. So it gives me this really kind of, a trigger to play these characters with the most imagination and creativity that I can think of.
Now, Aleks, I know you also have some music in the background as well. Has this year kind of allowed you to maybe revisit that a little bit as well?
Yeah, I've been playing a little bit more, and what's great is Helsing asked if I would like one of my songs in one of the episodes, and the band that I was playing with like 30 years ago, we had tracks that we recorded 30 years ago. So we remastered them, sent them to the producer. They enjoyed one of the songs, so now we're really excited that we get a song played on the soundtrack of Van Helsing. And the band's name is Specula Black. It's a metal band that I played since I was in high school, and me and the guys in the band are still quite tight. And I really am thankful that we got to play some music and put it out there. So yeah, I'm trying to stay busy and trying to stay creative.
There you go. Now, again, new episodes, Mondays, 9 Eastern, 8 local time on TNT of Snowpiercer. And Aleks, always want to make sure and let folks know where they can keep up with not only the show, but also the music and everything else you got going on social media-wise as well. Yeah,
my social media, Twitter and Instagram is Aleks Paun, ALEKS PAUN. And my Facebook is Aleks Paunovic Band. And I put a bunch of music up there. I put what I'm up to. I'm on a top secret show right now that I can't really talk about, but I cannot wait. The next time when I can talk about it, I'm coming back, man. That's cool? I'm coming back.
I will. I'll leave the phone line open for you, Aleks.
That's my man. That's my man.
There you go. Well, Aleks, always great to visit with you, sir. I'm looking forward to catching up again, and hope you have a great rest of your week, brother.
Thank you, my man. Be well. Thanks for having me on.
All right, guys, our next guest is the host of the Bleav in Clemson Football on the Bleav Podcast Network. Also, a former NFL linebacker, member of the Clemson Hall of Fame. Levon Kirkland on with us. We're going to talk some NFL, obviously Super Bowl, and whatever else comes to us as well. First off, Levon, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Now, we said a mouthful there, the Bleav in Clemson podcast, and for you, the podcast, where did this come up for you, sir?
Well, yeah, they just kind of asked me to do it. I don't know if they saw me on a podcast before. I was doing a podcast for my nonprofit, and it just came, they came with me. Well, they came to me with the offer of the podcast at Clemson University. I thought about it for a while, and I was like, I really do like Clemson football. It would be fun for me. I got a friend named Will Vandervoort, and we just like, hey, we talk to each other all the time. We got a good connection. Let's go for it. And we did, and it's been a lot of fun. It really has been.
And Clemson has had a pretty good run, Levon. How much fun has that been to talk about as well the last few years?
Well, it's always better when you're winning, when you have an opportunity and you're in the conversation of a national playoffs. It's always better that way. But I'm telling you, man, Dabo Swinney has done a tremendous job with this program over the last few years. Several 10, 11-year wins, going undefeated one year. It has really been a blast, and some great players are coming through. So to talk Clemson football at this point in time has been tremendous. And I hope that it continues to go on for just a little while longer.
And as you see the players move out, and Dabo, like you said, Dabo has got a great environment there. It's not rebuilding, it's retooling. It seems like each year, isn't that right?
Oh, no question about it. We have been very fortunate as well, especially at the quarterback position. We had Ty Boyd and Deshaun Watson, and then now you're talking about Trevor Lawrence, probably going to be the number one player picked in the NFL draft. And we got DJs coming along. So we've had a good run of quarterbacks. And yeah, Dabo Swinney does a great job of creating an amazing environment. If you've ever been on Clemson campus, it's a great little college town. But I'm telling you, the football complex looks like Microsoft. I mean, it's so nice with all its facilities and amenities. It's just a great place to play. And it would be hard for, I think, most players if they go visit Clemson not to consider Clemson to be in their future. So they do a good job of recruiting. They do a good job of making sure that the players are graduating and they're playing good ball. And there's a bunch of guys that are in the NFL at this point in time now. So Clemson has a nice brand, and it's really not just in the Southeast anymore. This brand has really spread it across the country.
That's right, and obviously the big game of the week everybody's talking about is the Super Bowl, the Tom Brady, the Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, it's much more than just that. But what do you see as the big story point? Obviously, quarterbacks. Is that what you think is going to be the big storyline on Sunday?
Well, that's the big storyline. There's no doubt about it. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, the GOAT versus the kid. It's an amazing story because a lot of times you may not get that kind of matchup. You're talking about the guy who has been really the quarterback in the NFL versus the quarterback who's up and coming. This is Tom Brady's last game. You know that Patrick Mahomes has a great future in front of him, but what would it be if he doesn't win, or if he does win? Does it magnify his legacy? So I think you can go on and on with this storyline. And, plus both coaches are great coaches. I call them professors more so than coaches and then also what you can look at too is the women that are going to be involved in this game. And I'm not talking about sideline reporters, but I mean actual coaches that are going to be involved with the game, referees. It's an amazing time, and I think I'm sure the NFL was like, yes, when they got the matchup between Kansas City and Tampa. There's a lot to be talked about.
Okay, Levon, who would you say would have the biggest pressure on their defense in the upcoming game?
Will probably have the most pressure on them because they're going against not only a good quarterback, but they're also going against some great receivers, good running back set, and then you talk about Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy and what they can create on offense. I think it's going to be a lot for Tampa Bay to try to handle.
Now, emotion-wise, who has the emotion or the mojo behind them coming into the game? Do you think one over the other?
I don't know if it's one over the other, but I really believe that Tampa Bay, with them playing at home, which is usually so unusual for this type of game, and, having Tom Brady. So I'm sure they feel they have the magic touch. It's one game. If they can get this one game, they're the Super Bowl champs. So I think that the energy and maybe even the law of momentum is in their favor. But I think it's going to be a great game. I'm really hoping that it is. I'm looking forward to it. I'm even liking the build up to it. And normally that gets kind of old when you talk about a Super Bowl. But I think that this game has so many storylines that everybody on Radio Row is going to have plenty to talk about. And I really feel like this game is going to be a good game. I really do.
And the year that we've gone through, Levon, how much do you think this game can help us maybe just put that out of our memories, at least for a few hours, you would hope, right?
Yeah, I think the Super Bowl does that anyway. The great thing about the Super Bowl is that it's not just for the football diehard. It's for the casual fans too, because they present so many different things. Whether it be the halftime show, who sang the American anthem. It is intriguing. The commercials, it's intriguing to everybody. So I would think that during this pandemic, you probably have nothing much else to do but to watch the Super Bowl. So I would say make it an event as much as you possibly can. It has become an American holiday. And I think during this time, we definitely need to have the Super Bowl. So I'm really glad that it's going to be here in a few days.
And for you, do you think that due to COVID and all the restrictions that the off the field issues are going to be kind of toned down a bit this year?
I would hope so. It just makes sense not to have these kind of issues. You shouldn't really be going out. This is really, honestly, should be just such a business trip for the players. I don't know if you can be roaming around the city, going to different spots. I know when I went to the Super Bowl, going to Phoenix, Arizona, man, you had things to do, places to go. But I imagine during this pandemic, you have to be smart and you have to be careful. Whether you believe in wearing a mask or not, you just have to be smart about it. And I'm sure that both teams are making sure that the players are aware, the staff is aware, everybody who's going to be involved aware about what's going on and making sure they're being safe.
Now, for you, the week of the Super Bowl, what's the biggest memory or that you take away from your Super Bowl week?
Oh, well, of course, the game. The game is the most important thing. Being able, when we arrived at the game, getting dressed, it was just a different feel to it. The warm up was different. I was totally confident that we were going to win that game. I really believed that we were. And, I probably had one of my better games, but the cool thing was I was a captain. And so, you get all the fanfare from being a captain. I also saw Vanessa Williams up in close, and that was nice. So, and I remember that I was nervous. I was excited, but I was nervous. I know I was nervous because my knee started knocking before the game, and that didn't happen to me since my rookie year, my first game. So, there was some nerve there. But, as the game went along, you kind of calm down and you really kind of get back into the flow of playing football. But when you think about the Super Bowl week, you think about the media coverage, all the cameras in your face, some of the distractions of getting tickets with family being there. Everybody in the world at the Super Bowl. But the only thing I would have done was one game.
Again, Levon, I want to make sure and let our listeners know where they can keep up with the podcast and also everything you've got going on social media wise as well, my friend.
I'm on Bleav Podcast. I'm also doing a nonprofit, and if you want to be a part of that, at www.southcarolinafootballhof.org. And so you can tune in there and, just hit me up on Facebook. Us old people, we kind of get on Facebook. Yeah, so those are the different things that I got going on. It's been a ride this year. And, I really love doing the Bleav podcast with Will. We have a great time talking a little bit about sports, but mostly about Clemson Football. So if you guys ever want to subscribe and follow us, that would be awesome.
All right. Well, Levon, it has been great to visit with you. I appreciate you taking the time. Looking forward to Sunday as well. And hopefully we can catch up again real soon, my friend.
Anytime you need me, let me know.
All right, guys, our final guest on the podcast today is country singer and songwriter Joe Hanson. Got a new single to talk about. Head Over Wheels got the video that premiered. I was actually checking that out just a few moments ago. And first off, Joe, thanks so much for taking the time to be on the show.
Cameron D, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Now, the single and the video, tell our listeners a little bit the story behind the single and the video shoot as well.
Yeah, I remember I brought in this title, man, Head Over Wheels, and I just had this thought from the first car I ever had. It's actually a Chevy Malibu. So if you watch the music video, a lot of people think that's like my truck and stuff, and I wish it was because that was a sick truck, but I actually drove a Chevy Malibu, and man, it was just a song that was just kind of nostalgic and reflecting on all the memories I made in that first car, and just really when I had that first taste of freedom with the new license and driving and all the stuff that we did in that car. And that's kind of what inspired it and drove the song. And when it came out time to make a music video for it, we figured, just get everybody in. So it's funny, actually, the music video, my girlfriend's in the shoot, my brother, my sister, and his boyfriend, and my dad is actually in it. So like all the people that are acting are actually people that were part of my life. So it was fun, man. And they crushed it. They really brought it to life. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, totally brought me back to those memories. So it was a lot of fun.
Now, Joe, where did music originate in your life? I mean, was country music, was that always something on your bucket list, or was it something that maybe you decided later in life?
It's interesting. People always ask me that. That's a great question. And the answer I tell people is it was kind of something that like I accidentally fell in love with, because at first I grew up playing baseball in my life, so like that was pretty much what consumed all my time. And it got to a point in my life, I'd always grown up listening to country music. My parents would like brainwash me. I think they brainwashed me from a young age, really, with like old school John Denver and Alan Jackson and Randy Travis and all the classics. Even like old school Rascal Flatts and old school Keith Urban. Like, I love that stuff. And I just remember high school came around and I ended up quitting baseball, and I really didn't have another hobby I was doing. But at the time, I come from a big family. I have 2 sisters and 2 brothers and my 2 parents. And my older brother, Nick, at the time, he's 1 year older than me. He started doing praise and worship at our church, him and a buddy, and they needed a drummer at the time. And so I actually started playing drums probably when I was like 16, 17. And, man, we just started our church's worship band, and we played on mission trips and retreats. And that's kind of how I got into music at first, playing-wise. But I'd always loved country music, man, the storytelling. And we did that for a couple of years, and then it got to a point where my brother and I did some stuff together as a duo for maybe like a year or so, and then he stepped down because he wanted to do more songwriting and focus on school stuff. And that was kind of the point in my life. I think I was about 18 at that time when I really, it was just me. And so that's when I decided to pursue country music, just because I loved it so much. And I just remember playing like night after night of open mics in Illinois. I'm originally from Naperville, Illinois, and so I moved to town about 3-4 years ago. And man, I just remember playing shows night after night and just really working on my craft as much as I could. And then we started taking trips down to Nashville, I want to say 2016. And man, we just did an open mic, or not an open mic, writers round, sorry. That's the Nashville open mic. But for those of you listening that don't know the difference, an open mic basically you could do anything you want. A writers round is strictly original music. And so I remember playing that down in Nashville. The first show I did was at Douglas Corner Cafe. It's no longer there, unfortunately, but things just started happening in town, man, and it was very organic. I remember I met my producer. My producer was one of the first people I met. I'm still working with him. And just a lot of good friends, man, that I first met when I came to town. They're still in my crew today. And all I can say is God's been good. He's just opened the right doors at the right time and put the right people in the path. And I know everybody always asks me, like, how did you get to where you are right now? And it's like, literally, I cannot say anything other than the favor of God, because I could not have done it if I wanted to. And so that's kind of a short story, shorter version of it. But
now where do you find your inspirations for the music? Is it day to day, just regular activities, or is there like a spark or something that just lights for you?
Yeah, I tell people, first and foremost, I love being an artist. I love being on stage and performing, but since I moved to town, I really fell in love with songwriting. And so I would say as a songwriter, I am just inspired, like it's day-to-day kind of thing. Like, I just keep a running list of ideas on my notes app on my phone of just like song ideas or titles or concepts or whatever it is. And that can really come from anything. Like, sometimes, you know what, actually they always hit me when it's inconvenient. It's like always, it's always when I'm like showering or something, or I'm in the bathroom, and it's like, oh, that's a great song idea, but I don't have my phone. So as a songwriter, it's day to day. It can be inspired by a whole bunch of different stuff, maybe what you see or experience that day. But as an artist, man, I'm really inspired by people like Chris Stapleton, just the way like he uses his voice so like recklessly, and he's truly a master of his craft, and like singer wise, he's definitely been a huge inspiration for me. And performers like Keith Urban, if you've ever seen a Keith Urban show, like he knocks the crowd socks off, man. He is just such a showman, and just the musicianship aspect, like his guitar playing and his singing, like it is just beyond inspiring. So those are kind of my influences as far as a performer.
Now, as far as vocalization and all, your voice much different than a lot out there. I mean, there's not a lot of tenors. There's a lot of baritones out there. There's not a lot of tenors. And so for you, how does that change things for you? I mean, when you're writing, does that change things for you?
It definitely changes things. A lot of times when we're writing, we end up having to pitch the song a key up or so. So it's always fun for my songwriters, because they're like, yeah, we're going to take it down from Joe Hanson land, or we're going to bring it down to like Scotty McCurry level right now or something, so they can sing it. It's definitely been a blessing. As far as country music, someone always told me you either want to be first or different. And so the more unique you can be or different sounding, the better. And so it's definitely been a blessing as far as helping me stand out with, you know, my branding, and just bringing something new to the table with country music, just trying to find my own lane, and, you know, just trying to be different.
Now, after how 2020 treated us all, how has that changed, or has it changed the goals that you have set for 2021?
Man, people always ask me that as far as like how I took this year, and honestly, I tell people 2020 was actually, believe it or not, has been the best year of my life. And as far as, I just had a really big coming to my faith, and that like completely changed my life, and really just re-inspired me. If I could use any word, I just feel like re-inspired. As far as vision, like what I want to do, I think I've finally gotten a good opportunity to just understand the weight of what it means to be an artist and what it means to be able to go out there and impact people's lives with music. And so I am just fired up to have a clearer vision of what I want to say, and just how important music is, man, because everybody needs it. And that's kind of been my motto since day one, is take these songs and bring people together. Because I know a lot of people feel isolated. We live in a generation, I think a lot of people feel lonely, that get discouraged and depressed, and they feel lonely, man. And what I love about country music is the storytelling, and it's the fact that I can get out there and I can go sing a song about partying or losing a loved one or coming to find Jesus or having a breakup, you know, whatever it is. It's the fact that there's people that's walked in those shoes, And that's kind of my way of saying, look, y'all haven't been the only ones walking in those shoes. And like, we're all in this together. And that's really, for me, what I love about it is the fact that I can bring people together emotionally, spiritually, physically through these songs. So yeah, man, just 2020 was the best year of my life, and I'm just inspired like never before.
That's good stuff. Well, Joe, if folks want to find out more information about the music, about the videos, social media, upcoming tour dates, where's the best place?
Yeah, you can check me out Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, wherever y'all do it, at Joe Hanson Music. YouTube is just Joe Hanson Music. And as far as shows right now, man, we don't really have anything lined up, but a lot of Instagram Live stuff, and I'm posting quite frequently. We got some upcoming releases for Valentine's Day, actually, so we got a new song coming out. So y'all make sure you're on the lookout for that. That'll be fun.
All right. Well, Joe, it's been great to visit with you, get to know you a little bit today. I do appreciate you taking some time to be on the show, and hopefully not only have a great rest of your week, but we can catch up again real soon.
Would love it, dude. Thank you for having me.
Thanks again for joining us for the 17th episode of Good Questions with Cameron Dole, Season 2. If you ever have a comment, question, or anything else you'd like to know, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all at GQ with Cam. If you'd like to help out in the funding for the podcast, feel free to click the support tab and follow the instructions. If you have a special guest idea, you can email gqwithcam@gmail.com. Again, thanks to our friend Brandon Allen for coming up with the tune for Good Questions with Cameron Dole. We'll let him play us out. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday. Episode 18 coming up tomorrow.